Hey guys, I was watching that video to see how it turned out. But anyways, I started laughing again because I was going on, doing the family research or whatever. And it always takes you really far back, That's the problem, is it takes you far back. So I was in someone's file because it's really weird because you might have a neighbor and you're in their file. Somehow your family, you're connected or whatever, like you share the same ancestries. But trip out, I came across, I saw combs in there. So I went in there and it was like a mini combs or something from way back. So it fit, it goes in, and so I'm bringing them in there because I have to see, and that's kind of scary because people are fighting for a certain power right now, and he is one of them. I just found that very weird, and whose I found it through, and so it's from a close neighbor of my mom's. And so anyways, there's always been some really weird shit going on around there, and so anyways, I went into it, and then I got, I put in enough information that it would link in anybody that would be related by the name of Combs. And lo and behold, I put in Sean Combs to see if he was related, and he is. He's down the line, but I copied the photo, and I'll send it. I'm going to upload it. But I found it very interesting. So that's kind of scary because, he's into, like ISIS type of stuff, trafficking. So that's really scary because when I was looking at the files, there's, you see in the files from like 60s, people that were born in the 60s, they're already dead. They died in 2005, and it's a history of them. Different people, different names and families, not just his, it's in, other people's, ours, and other people's that I'm seeing. It looks like a genocide on, like I'm telling you, like on families and stuff. So these could be family members. Maybe they possibly back in the day got life insurance policies. It was easier to do that because everything was on paper. Nothing was connected but through mainframing systems, mainstreaming systems such as Social Security and other agencies like that, powerful agencies that can go to another agencies and gather the information. They have the data system to do it. We don't. But now we're so far into technology that you can skip, hop, and loop holes and get, information, at least if you're related to a person, or, if you want to do background checks, of course, you have to pay for those things. But anyways, I thought it was very interesting as I'm going down the line. He is, but the mini person was my 12th cousin. I'll post that shit up. And I was thinking of that other one. So anyways, whoever this mini person is probably deceased, and is probably the younger people or generations that are following it to the 4th or whatever. You can follow it to the 12th. 13th, as far as it goes back. If you want to go back to Jesus' days, you will, and that's what I do. I go back. I want to know where this line started and how they got involved, and I'm very technical like that. My mind, I can't rest unless I figure something out, and then I know. So anyways, bottom line, going back to that, very crazy. It's very crazy, and they were in the 12th. So, like, I'm closer to my family line, so they're closer, they're 12th on their side, so they're on the right side, you're on the left side. and your grandparents are top, or the top, every time you go up, or every time you're trying to see your relationship, it'll take you. So the main people will be in the center, and it'll be a husband and a wife, back in the day, 1800, 1500, and then it follows your grandparents. It'll show you through your grandparents. So anyways, I'm still closer. So it looks like somehow my grandma, through my grandma's side, because when I'm looking at the name Combs, nothing with Morales comes up, nothing with Garcia comes up, nothing. So it's on the honky-donk side, okay? So my dad's side, my mom, my grandma's side, somehow her family. But I haven't gotten to a lot yet. I've gotten a lot, but not enough. So, but I saw it, and so yeah, it's kind of scary. But so I'm trying to figure things out, I'm trying to hide this because I'm cleaning right now. I'm starting to clean up for the day and get caught up. But so I wanted to share that with you, and I will be posting up in a few minutes here, hopefully, some, the photo of what I'm talking about. But the photos, I believe, go into my forum. So when I post, I have, that forum that it goes into. And then the videos go to that. So if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe to that, the forum, and try to go in there if you can't see it where you're at. However, I wanted to share that with you, the Combs thing. And because I feel a lot of danger around, and there's fighting for power. And when I lived in, my truck, for quite a few, off and on for quite a few years in my car, people were like, it was like all over. They would walk by, throw shit, do shit. Like, I used to tell people, like, what the hell? I don't even know these people. There's so many homeless people. Nobody fucking bothers them. They all work together and go together, but they were always screwing, because, my mom lives by that McDonald's. So they'd be parked across there throwing shit, doing all kinds of shit. And these are all the people that were involved, because I'll tell you why. All these people were not always homeless. These were people that were left homes and lost them for some reason, because they were bums to begin with and didn't know how to hold down and go out and get a job. Now you got a house. Go in there. Show me a fucking house. During the times, all that time, I had one job for 9 months doing aerospace shit through companies, and, using agencies and stuff. And don't let them tell you I didn't do that, because I did. I have proof. So, but anyways, back to that Combs thing. That's kind of scary, because there's so many, he's in an elite, so you have to watch anybody that you're related to, because people are trying to fight for power, but you ain't fighting for my power, because the only thing I'm fighting for is my wills, and my Indian heritage and stuff, and yours are separate. You go back to your family. And here's a problem. These people don't know how to research. They go out, it's like leaving the barn without checking. You leave the barn, but you got other animals in there, and you leave the barn, you leave it open, and you don't think. So anyways, with that, you can't act. You gotta know for sure. And I'm a type of person, you have to prove to me with facts. Like, you can tell me things and I'll listen to it and I'll go, because you have to do that with people when you're talking to them, But once I find out, I research. I like to research, and I don't know, because I come from way back, and I've been doing things a long time, and we've helped guide people in certain directions, and when people need forms and stuff, we know where to go. I don't send them on a bogus road. I don't tell them to go and fill out something or go somewhere where they shouldn't be. I'm direct, I am strictly direct, and if I can't be direct, I get confused, and that would confuse anyone if you're not giving them direct directions. Don't give them if you don't have them. That's how I am, but I found that funny. But anyways, this was another one on that Combs, that mini whatever. I'll post it up. The one, she deleted me too, like a few times, maybe 10 times. I don't know. But I put them back on here because I have that right to. You can't stop family history because historians do that. I can get a license and fucking go do it for a living. And it's the same thing I'm doing. Why pay one when I know how to do it myself, right? We're going to do the same thing you did. They might do a few other things, like the blood and all that, but I got my blood shit. I got that too. But anyways, it was funny. I thought that was funny because people do delete it's because they either did something under your shit and it's attached to their files along the line, because I figured it out what they're doing, because I was doing another one. I started thinking this one dude kept around 20 something when I was with Jose. MySpace, he was like, hey, because I used to know this dude named Alfredo. I didn't know he went to a different high school, but he was a friend of my brother's. And he was trying to date me, but they didn't like that. And I found out by looking at his file he was older, and I didn't realize it because he went to Lawndale High, I went to Lusinger. So I was thinking he was only a year older than I was, but he was the same age as my brother Eddie, so. But anyways, I went on his file. It was so sad. But it was weird at the same time because when I went onto his file, his last name is Espinosa. So when I went on his file, through his file, I found my grandma. My mom's, the Garcias and Moraleses. But it was attached to Andy Pasmont, my mom's sister's daughter's husband file. But it was really weird. They had a lot of people from 62 that died early. So it looks like a genocide or a hit of some type. You really need to do so you can see. You need to open your eyes and recognize, because if there's a lot of things happening to people in your family and there's a lot of sudden deaths and all kinds of things, it might not just be an accident. I'm here to tell you to open your eyes. Start looking at your history and your family, because there's people in your family trying to off you. Possibly. This is not for everybody, but this is for some people. A lot of people. Open your eyes and start looking, because when I'm looking down, so I was looking down he died, his wife died. And it looks like a child or something, because somebody that was born possibly in 89, 3. The mother, the dad, and don't you find this funny that a lot of people they're not dying just from drugs. People are doing something, these people. I mean, they probably are doing something, but somebody's going in there and doing something even more to that something that's going to cause them to possibly look like an OD or something like that. Like Marilyn Monroe, I don't believe she died like that. I don't. And Amy Winehouse, I don't believe she died like that. She just OD'd. Don't you find that ironic that trip out on... Okay, so Amy Winehouse, going back to her story. Amy Winehouse is out with friends, possibly her boyfriend, whatever. Okay, I haven't listened to the story in a while, but I do remember because Amy Winehouse, badass. I used to, her, Tina Marie was number one in my life, then became Mariah, but Amy Winehouse and all them. Okay, so, but the story of Amy Winehouse. Don't you think it's ironic how all the friends were with her and they all go in another room together like an orgy and leave her in a fucking room by herself? And don't check on her. You motherfuckers are liars. Okay? That could have been handled differently, I believe. I don't believe she just OD'd like that. I believe her friends fucking OD'd her. I'm sorry. You're fucking friends. You're taking out... You fucking take my family out and come on. I know about ODs, okay? I'm not saying I'm one of them, no. But I know about ODs. Okay? So, what I'm telling you is, that's weird. But anyways, back to the Combs thing. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. And, it's, I just want to warn people. But anyways, thanks for listening to that. But I was laughing at that mini, whatever, Combs. Took me off I don't know how many times. It's like, why? Why, it's like you can tell that, see, these type of people would never be a good historian. You're not even telling the truth to begin with, because every person counts. God is looking for a count of everybody, and nobody's accounting for even their own families. I go on there, and there's a lot of our families ain't even connected. I don't want to connect with them, but you want my motherfucking money, don't you? You don't want to connect with me. You don't want to connect with my kids. You don't want to connect with my grandparents, but you want to spy and get all the information and go pull out shit, but you don't want to connect with me. But you got my money, and you done got fucking facelifts, ass lifts, toenail fucking lifts, whatever you want to call it. You got all that shit, but you don't want to fucking, you don't want to associate and connect. See, this is what families are doing. I'm not just saying mine, they're doing it to yours. I'm telling you guys, go out there and do this, and, you're most likely you're going to catch a lot of thieves doing this. Okay, because you're going to help straighten out the paperwork, like I said. Go help straighten out the paperwork. Only you can do it. You don't need birth certificate. You got your own. You don't even need that. All you do is start with your information. It's going to connect. They're going to know you're not fucking lying. Okay? And you're going to straighten it out. And it's going to keep moving around to wherever it went, and whoever changed it and whoever did shit. You want to freaking save yourself? Go in there and identify yourself, at least with your parents or your kids. Your parents' kids, their parents and all that, so it'll follow. And so now that you can help a little bit, and now they can see. And you know what? If somebody did something where you were supposed to have gotten something where they said you were in a mental institution or you were dead or something like that, it's all going to come up. So if you want things to come up, you're going to have to. Otherwise, who else is going to do it for you? You think the city, the courts are going to come and fucking say, here, I made a mistake? They're fuckers. They're fucking punks. And they're hiding their own in there, and they need to drag them out, because I'm going to drag every one of them out with embarrassment. Okay? Because you're not going to fuck with my shit and then fucking, and that much shit, and then fucking turn shit around and call me crazy and have life insurance and say I died or whatever the fuck you guys are doing, and I live in another state. No, I don't. I don't live in another state. The only state I've lived in is California, besides Chicago. When I ran away from home when I was, 14, 15 years old, I fucking boned out, went to there after... and moved with the Lopez family out there. Richard Lopez, we got kicked out of the Navy. right here. We partying in one of his friends' room, and he got kicked out of the Navy. Richard Lopez, look it up. Right here, San Diego. Okay? And so from there, I boned out. He got kicked out, got thrown in the brig, and got kicked out. Anyways, I left. Came back when I was 18. That's when I got pregnant with my son Lorenzo. With somebody else. I left there. Okay? So anyways, what I'm telling you is to look shit up. Look all your ex-boyfriends up. Look everything, run them. That's how you can run them in there. See if you're related. If you're related to them, even if it's a 12 cousin, it'll come out. But anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.